Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Nkese-Abasi, Omoregie, the President of Ministries Fellowship International in Nigeria. I want to thank the Rector of Ruth Sisters Fellowship International and all the people involved in organizing this event. Thank you for the privilege given to me to speak here and to speak against gender-based violence. Gender-based violence had existed and had continued over the years. Despite what the United Nations and other organizations are doing to put a stop to it, it seems the more they do it, the more we are talking, the more people are offering to cry out, the more it's increasing, it is continuing in our society. And this year we've come to say, enough is enough, no more. And I want to call the women out there, let's join our voices together. Let's join our hands to put a stop against this violence perpetrated against the women. People will think that gender-based violence is only limited to the schools, the workplaces, but even in the ministries, even in the faith-based organization, we still see women being victimized, women being abused by their husbands, by their colleagues, by the male counterparts, by people. Imagine a woman who God called and gave a ministry, but the husband comes down and says, you are a woman, you must be under me. And the woman subjects the ministry to the husband. But because God has anointed her, when she preaches, testimonies come out, and the man decides to tell her, don't talk again in church, don't preach in church, you're not supposed to preach, you're not supposed to handle anything. And when people go to meet her in the house, and they still come back to give testimonies during the service, and the man is angry and decides to beat her up. Why? Because she's a woman. Why would a man tell a woman, a male pastor, invite a woman and tells the woman after ministering, I can't give you anything except to sleep with me? And it is happening in the church. Why would a woman not be allowed to speak out, to preach, to use the gift that God has given to her? Because she's a woman. But they forget that Jesus in John chapter 20 verse 17 told Mary Magdalene, go and tell Peter and the rest of the disciples. Jesus gave the gospel. The first person to preach the gospel was a woman. And it was Jesus that sent her. Because Jesus knew that a time will come that women will not be allowed to speak out. And Jesus sent the woman, go and tell the disciples. So if Jesus could send a woman to go preach, why would a woman be subdued? Why should a woman be beaten up for preaching? Some years ago in Nigeria, a woman went out to preach and she was killed. And this has continued over the years. That our husbands are victimizing, and out of envy and jealousy, they will not want their wives to showcase their talents. They don't want their wives to use the gift that God has given to them. The male counterpart feel a woman shouldn't talk as much as this. Church members are still harassing female pastors. It is time for us to speak out. It is time for us to expose this evil. And it is time for us to say enough is enough. I want to call on our sisters. Please, if you're being victimized, if you're being abused psychologically, mentally, physically, by whosoever, please don't keep quiet. We are tired of losing our women, some gifted women with great potentials because of gender-based violence. We are tired of having to bury our gifting because God will ask us, what did you do with the gift that I gave to you? Please, if you're in this situation, speak out. Go out for help. If a sister should come to you and open up, please don't victimize her. Don't castigate her. Don't laugh at her. Don't feel that she's passing through what she's passing through because of her character, because of who she is. Let's stand by each other. Let's support each other. Let's help each other. Let's put a stop to gender-based violence. And if you come out together and say no more, I'm ready to speak out if it happens to me. I'll give my sister a hand if it happens to my sister, and we'll stand together. Together, we can put a stop to this. May God help us. to rise up and make sure that this thing does not continue again. God did not create us to be victims, to be prey to this men. God bless us in Jesus' name.